Right then, on to the next part of our agenda, which is to look at Cosmos and to have a demo of Cosmos. And in a second, we're going to be joined by my colleagues Chris and Joe, which you can probably see on the screen right now. So yeah, they've been building Cosmos, they support Cosmos, they help with our customers to give them greater visibility and confidence when they're making decisions around you know mapping with EDI and APIs. So yeah, this first part of the demo, Joe's going to be showing us Message Validator, which is really there to help save you time. So with that, let's get straight into it. And Joe, over to you.
Lovely. Thanks, Stuart, for the intro. So just let me just share my screen and then I'll go through quickly how easy this tool is to use.
Sure.
So hopefully you can see my screen.
We can.
Okay. So what I'm going to start off with today is how we can validate customer data against the standard or customer specific specifications. So as you can see here, we've got EDIFACT, Tradecoms, X12, and then we've got a few other tools that I'll go through on the demo. So what I'm going to do, we'll start with EDIFACT. So you can basically paste your raw data or upload a file, which I'll just show you now.
You're bringing in an order message for this one, right?
I am.
Now, for those of you who are actually paying attention to the right, you would have seen that we've got a drop down that says currently purchase order message and then orders in brackets. Just rewind back your YouTube video and check that out. That was actually order response. Our system detects what type of message it is and uses the correct spec.
Fantastic.
Exactly, which is fantastic because sometimes we do get a load of files, whether it's test or in production. We're not too sure sometimes how we validate that, but obviously this comes up automatically, which again is time consuming when you've got to go through different specs to check which test data you're using. So here you can see we've validated the message, it's come up successful, which is great. However, you are going to get data at times that's not going to have the right qualifiers, the correct segments that are mandatory against the standard. So for instance, if I change the DTM qualifier just to, I don't know, 000, and I validate that message, it spots automatically that there's an issue. And this is a received message here. So it's highlighted the qualifier for the date field. And as you can see, this is where the issue is. Now, the good thing about this, you can check to see why is it not validated. It could be 00, it could be another number. But against this spec, these are the mandatory and the available codes that it will use. So again, this is tight, it reduces the time it takes to debug. We can see exactly, it takes you exactly where the error is. I'm going to cancel out of that and use one of the standards. So it was 137 before. If I just change it to 17, validate the message, and you can see now that it's back to successful.
Great. Yep.
Yeah. So
yep. Now,
again,
Joe, you are currently in here with editing permissions, which is why you're able to see that edit button for the various qualifiers. For those that don't have edit permissions in here, the little eye that's just to the right of those edit buttons, if you hover over those, again, it displays that list for you, and so you can still see what those qualifiers are.
Perfect.
which is good. So you don't have to keep going. And
Save you more time.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about, some of the specs that we do get from customers are not written properly. They're about 34 pages long, probably longer. So it's good that we can actually interact in the one interface that shows you everything that we need to know to get it working the way we need to.
Yep.
And talking about the segments, obviously we can make them mandatory or conditional, and we can increase or decrease the repetitions of each segment. So again, and you can also save it with a friendly name so that's available for others to use.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, speaking of the others to use, when you save these,
Yeah.
they're actually saved against the customer themselves. So even though you can see these, Joe, they're not in Joe's list. These are for the company, which means if you're on a week holiday, you know, you're to say to sun yourself in Barbados or wherever, and somebody else is picking up your work, they can just find your spec instantly because it's there. It's company wide.
Correct. So now that I've made that change, then if I just call that demo orders 1, and if I change something now, let's change this. Probably to conditional and save the changes. We can see on the right hand side now, you can see demos orders 1. So as Chris mentioned, if you're away on holiday or there's further work to do on the mapping, they can just locate the customer specification that you've been working on. Okay, are there any questions on the EDIFACT validation?
No, pretty solid.
No.
Okay. Now I won't go through, basically the trader comms, we can do exactly the same process. You can make all the mandatory fields, change them, conditional fields, and again with the X12. But for time purposes, I'm just going to go straight through now onto the IDOC validator. So here you can validate and visualize if you have a file definition, data definition file, you can put in here. I'm just going to upload a file now that I have ready. So the
Put some
visualize.
Blue Peter music over that bit, Joe. I think. Sorry.
There's one. Yes, exactly. But here it gives you a blueprint view of all the different segments that you can expand. You can see exactly what the data is. And you can also transform this to modern view.
Now, the reason why people would want to transform this to modern, older generations and in some cases no longer supported versions of SAP use the legacy format as you've seen. If you are moving or migrating to SAP Business One, as an example, it doesn't use the legacy format. It only uses XML. So flipping it to XML here allows you to see, well, this is exactly what the message should look like. I now know what I need to change my code to make. And of course, if you're on SAP Business One, you could always download the WSDL and use the WSDL XSD validator at another time, should you so choose.
Okay, no, thank you for that. So basically, this is a great visual print of exactly what we need to look at in terms of data validation. Any questions on the IDOC validator? It's pretty straightforward. It just gives you the structure and the view of the raw message. Any questions?
No, all good there. All good there, Joe.
Okay.
Yeah.
All good.
Then, excuse me, moving on to the IDOC builder. So you can look at the segments and the data that's actually in your IDOC. So we've got a sample IDOC preview here. It's already there. And what this does, it gives you the structure of how every segment field is laid out. And the good thing is it's so easy to use. So you can see what's used, what's mandatory. You can delete anything that you don't need. A lot of specs that we do get for customers are not to the standard. They have different customizations for different things. Yeah. Some fields and segments are mandatory. So again, you can use this. You can work on it as you're going along, collapse it, delete it, and it's just so easy to use. If you've got, I'll just delete what's in here because that's a sample. And if I was to take one of my iDocs that I have, I can simply just copy. And there we see that that data has been populated. With the correct IDOT records. And as you can see, it's 83620. And the data is all along here. Any questions on that?
Not so much a question, more an observation for some people. In the top right-hand corner, you can see that we can import a DDF. Now, for those familiar with Sterling, if you've got a B2B map in Sterling that deals with an IDOC, if you export the DDF and import it into here, it will build up all of the IDOC for you. So it's a huge time saver on trying to work out, oh, what do I do with this custom field? How do I deal with this? You don't need to. Just import your DDF and you are good to go.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing, I mean, I know we've emphasized it during the demo, but again, this tool is fantastic from a time perspective. Everything's in one screen. You can validate messages, you can validate the schemas, which actually I wanted to show you next in terms of the daffodil, if that's okay. I'll go straight into here. So you can validate a raw message data against an uploaded schema. So for the purpose of this demo, I've actually got a daffodil schema here. So got a successful one that we know that's working. And I'm just going to upload a message. And we can see if I validate message against the daffodil schema, it does take a bit of time.
Yeah, this one does. It's calling out to some existing libraries that are written specifically for Daffodil. I can't speed those libraries up, unfortunately. They are already pre-built and written.
Yeah.
So here we've got the validation results. So the message passed successfully, which is great. So it just gives you and obviously a log of everything that's working. However, if I upload a different schema, we can see now that it comes back, it does a compatibility check and it's suggestive fixes it comes back with, which is a cool thing about this tool. I guess, Chris, you'll be able to elaborate a little bit more on this.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing, a lot of people aren't overly familiar with how to build a correct Daffodil schema. They are picky, to say the least. And so one of the things that I found really helpful was let's put in something that checks the schema. Is it actually valid? And if the schema isn't, well, let's not just tell you what you need to fix. Let's just fix it for you. We'll give you a log that says exactly what we fixed and kind of a bit of a reason why. So a little bit of learning to help you improve there. But ultimately, click a button and you're good to go. Time is of the essence, right? So let's get it done quick.
So if I apply the suggestive fixes here, now you can see
it's fixed it's fixed the schema, but yes, we still need to then validate the message against it.
Yes, which I'm just going to do now.
Yeah. And while that's doing, for those who may have noticed it did download the report that actually said, obviously, here's the fix report of what we modified in your schema.
Brilliant. Giving you that audit trail. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's basically it. We obviously have a scratch pad here. We can make notes as you're going along, which is also good, and we can save them. And I think that's about it. The JSON, I don't know if you want to touch base on that just very, very quickly,
sure.
Chris.
So most JSON validators out there kind of just say, hey, your message is valid JSON. Okay. But it's not valid JSON for me. It's not valid JSON for that specific interface that's exposed. I might want 3 fields in there, and you've supplied 8. Might be still valid JSON, but it's too many for me. And so what we did is we actually said, right, well, let's get the JSON and add a schema. So we build a schema from your valid message. You can then pass this schema to anybody else who is using this tool, and then they can check to make sure that the message that they build matches exactly what you need. They don't need to keep this conversation of customer supplier until you eventually get it right after 3 weeks. You can just do all in this tool. Take 30 minutes, an hour, however long it takes you to modify and update your code, and then you're good to go. It's a huge time saver. Just put a spec on something.
That's great.
Exactly. I think this is a huge, like, message validation reduces the onboarding time. As you know, when you're onboarding new clients, the amount of time this is going to save is remarkable.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Well, Joe, Chris, I know there's so much more to show, not just in Message Validator, but across the whole solution that is Kosmos. So obviously we've just taken a look at Message Validator. We're going to have a look at the BPMN editor in a second, the BP navigation, some of Neural Hub, and there's a million other features within the Kosmos family of solutions. So yeah, if you're looking to connect your traditional middleware with your modern ecosystems, contact Coliance, find out more about Kosmos. I'll pop up one slide here so you know how to contact us. You can visit our website, which is coliance.co, or contact sales@coliance.co, and the team will be happy to build a consultation, a demo, and speak to our experts. So with that, thank you very much, Joe. Thank you, Chris. And I'm sure we'll speak to you again soon.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.